Album's called 828. So I had the album 828. It comes from the scripture Romans 828. Yeah, which says, all things work together for the good of those are called according to his purpose. So it's just a reflection on my journey over these past, it's been 12 years now, but when I first started working on the album, it was 10 years of poetry. So I was reflecting back on where I was and where my younger self thought I would be, and it wasn't aligned, but I knew I was exactly where I'm supposed to be. So that's the inspiration behind the album. And so the album release party was last weekend, but it's actually going to be released on all streaming platforms this upcoming Friday, May the 26th. So you can listen to it on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, wherever you stream your music. Yeah.
So you have music with the words?
So it's a mix. So some poems it's just my voice.
Right.
Some poems it's my voice and there's like some sound effects to kind of help paint the picture of what I'm saying. And then there are some poems that are accompanied by music in the background. Yeah. So it's a nice mix. Yeah. Yeah.
Is this your first project like that?
This is my first album. This is my first time getting in the studio doing poetry. So it was definitely a lot of like lessons learned and just kind of figuring out what kind of vibe I want to do. But it was a really cool experience.
What inspired you to want to put a project out like that?
So I think when I first got into poetry, it kind of was in the back of my mind as something I think that would be cool to do. I didn't know what it would look like. And then as I kind of kept writing, and I published my book in 2018, Behind the Smile, and everyone was saying, I love your book, but like I miss your voice, right? I love to hear it how you would say it. And they were talking about an audiobook and an album and all these different things. And as poetry's just progressed over the years, the Grammys now has a category for spoken word poetry. It was kind of like now was the right time. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of things that I've kind of gone through and experienced, and people's words of encouragement kind of brought me to this point.
Now, are you a native of Houston, Texas?
Born and raised. Yeah. Southeast side.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing poetry? Like, how did you even find poetry? Like, how did it all start from the very beginning?
It's kind of a funny story. So growing up, I was big on math. Like I always excelled in it. That was my favorite subject. But I always loved the poetry section in English class. So I loved to kind of read poems and try to write my own. Now, I sucked. And that's not me being humble. Like I straight up sucked. Like I was bad, all right? And so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I can just love the art form and not be for me. Fast forward to my senior year of high school. At the time, I felt like I was going through all this crazy stuff. I'm on the varsity track team trying to, make it to regionals, beat my time. I'm trying to apply to colleges and figure out where I'm going to go, what I'm going to major in, apply for scholarships, like just all that hectic stuff that happens, your senior year of high school. And I was like, I gotta express myself. I gotta, release this. And I said, let me try to write a poem, a spoken word poem. I had seen some videos on YouTube. And so I sat down, I wrote it, my cousin helped me. And then I shared it with some of my friends, and it was very freeing. It was very, it brought me peace. I felt like people kind of understood me. The title of the poem was In Reality, and I was essentially saying, on the outside, it looks like I'm cool, calm, and collected. But on the inside, in reality, I'm feeling all this. Yeah, exactly. And so that was the inception. And I thought it was gonna just be one and done, and I just keep on living my life. But then I get to college, and I feel like college is just this breeding ground for you to find yourself, and this breeding ground for you to kind of dabble in the arts, right? As you're just kind of learning about, or you have the opportunity to join all these different organizations and clubs. And so I shared the poem at an open mic, and they said, oh, we'll come to this event and do this, and when's the next poem? I was like, I guess I gotta write another one. And then, I became known on campus as Rob the Poet.
Poet guy.
And so I started getting asked to perform at choir shows, intermission, different luncheons, different events and stuff. And it was probably my sophomore year of college, I was like, poetry is gonna be in my life for the rest of my life. No matter how big or small. If it's just a hobby or just journaling, to myself, cool. But if it's something else where it becomes my main profession and I'm writing books and doing albums and doing whatever, awesome, or somewhere in between. But poetry is definitely going to be in my life for the rest of my life because I loved it so much, and now I describe it as an extension of my body. Like it just flows with the way that I think and the way that I live. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Now the book, you said you wrote the book.
Yeah, the book.
2019?
2018. 2018.
Behind the Smile.
Behind the Smile. Yeah.
Tell me about the book, man.
So this book is one of the brightest things in my life, but it was birthed out of one of the darkest seasons of my life. So I had just graduated college.
What college you went to?
University of Pittsburgh. So I went up to the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah. So a quick summary.
Scholarship?
Partial scholarship, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Not track. I didn't get to run in college. Academics. So yeah. The book. So if you read it in sequence, it tells my story as I'm stepping into adulthood through poetry. It's broken up into different parts. But right after I graduated college, in total, I spent 16 months unemployed. I was unemployed for a couple months, found a job, got a job, but then was fired, and then spent a full year unemployed. And I was sad, I was depressed, I was angry. It's the ultimate feeling of rejection. And I told myself, well, you know what, I can't control what's going to happen in this immediate, but what I can control is be intentional. So that was 2016. So starting into 2017, I said, I'm going to write a poem every day, and I'm going to apply to a new job every day. 9 months pass, and I'm like, I think I have a book. So I had to take this poem and mash it up with this poem, and I had to edit this one and put these 5 together and whatever, do all the editing and stuff. And then I got this, and it was me just telling my story about my rejection, my insecurities, my heartbreak, my lust, my love life, my relationship with God, and how it was growing and how it was fading and all those different things. And it pretty much just shows people, again, the idea that on the outside I might look one way, but on the inside, I have some other things going on. So behind the smile. And so you see I have the mask off. It's like, I'm gonna just show you, me completely. Yeah.
That's fire, bro. It's like, hearing your story, you remind me of myself. You know what I'm talking about? I come from a music background.
Okay.
So I was writing music in 95, 96, and I was writing about the rough times I was going through. But in that moment of me writing about the rough stuff I'm going through, I was shown some other things. I was shown what I was shown, bro. I seen how the stuff I was writing about, shit came to pass. And it was like a light went off. I'm like, I said, hold on. Everything I said I was going to do, and I did it.
Yeah.
Not even knowing that I was speaking about it, and
Words
everything
have power.
happened. So in that moment, I found out that thoughts become things. I found out, basically. You know what I'm talking about? So I began, from that moment in 95, 96, I began to look into that more.
Yeah.
And start writing about what was happening. I started writing about what I want to happen.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I've been on that journey ever since. You feel me?
I feel you. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. Words have power for sure.
Oh,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause we have power. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? What they say in the beginning was a word, and the word was not just with God, but the word was God. Yep. So words are powerful, bro.
Yep.
So this poetry thing is powerful, bro. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first time I met you was at a soul poetry event at the Improv.
Yep.
The first time I
Yep.
So man, I'm proud to see the growth that you've been doing, man.
Thank
you. Got the book, and I know you probably got another book coming out. I know this one ain't gonna stop right here.
I got some ideas. I got some things in the work. Yeah. So I have a lot of stuff in my head that is gonna slowly but surely come out. Just as I continue to grow and learn how to bring different feelings and emotions and thoughts to life, right? In the different mediums that we can use as words, whether it's a book, whether it's an album, whether it's a speech, whether it's a play, whether it's a movie. There's so many different art forms that we can tap into.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you put a post out last year too. You I did a thing. I think you purchased a house.
I did. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yes. I'm a homeowner.
That's what's up.
Yes. I definitely.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big accomplishment. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.